world. And, you know, I always say the most important time to ask for a fight is after you win. You got to capitalize. And, you know, I'm not out to engage in some verbal pissing match with the guy. I respect his skills. He's super tough. I'm just trying to get to a world title. And I think that's the fight that makes most sense when you look at the top five. You know, I said before the fight, you know, I beat Rafael Dos Anjos. I'm not fighting anybody that's ranked less than 5. I'm taking this spot and just looking at the landscape of the division. That's the fight that makes sense. I want to be tested. I want to fight the best. So, Colby it is.
So many guys won't do that, won't do those big call-outs like that. They'll just, you know, whoever the UFC gives me, that kind of thing. How far before this fight did you know that was the name that you'd wind up saying if you won?
I mean, not until like a few weeks ago. You know, I kind of waited to see until how 245 ended. You know what I mean? I just kind of wanted to see what happened with like Tyron and Leon and everybody. But I think it's a fight that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't go ask for some outlandish matchup. Anytime I've won a fight and asked for an opponent, I've usually gotten it, and that's because it's all well thought out. I just don't throw things against the wall that aren't going to stick. I just think it's a fight that makes sense. I think it's a fight I could get. So we'll see what happens.
What did he show you in that fight that makes sense for you beyond just what the number is next to his name?
I just showed that I'm tough. I mean, I just went out there and look at the guys that have beat RDA. You know what I mean? And only the best guys that beat him. So I'd like to think that I'm going to join the echelon of those fighters in that same aspect. You know what I mean? I'm going to become a champion. I proved that tonight. I went out and beat a championship caliber fighter. And that's it, you know what I mean? So I want to be great. I want to fight the best guys. I want to test myself. I want to see what my limits are. I don't think a lot of guys in the sport really have that mentality, you know what I mean? I'm not out to find easy fights. Colby Covington's a nightmare matchup for me, but I'm ready to walk through the fire. I want to fight the best guys.
Did things go as easy for you tonight as it sometimes looked?
I wouldn't say it was easy. I mean
you did make it look easy.
He's a really strong guy. He's a really strong guy. I'll admit. Round 2, he started to really gain some momentum on me. But, you know, in between rounds 2 and 3, my coach sat me down and, you know, gave me the pep talk. This is 5 minutes of your life, man. Put the pedal to the floor and don't let off. Really reignited the fire, and I was able to go out there round 3 and really push the pace. You know, I think if we would have had another back and forth round in that 3rd round, we maybe could have stole fight of the night. But, you know, I'm not out to win fight of the nights. I'm out to win fights. So I went out there and did just that. I mean, if you look at if you go all the way back to the Kevin Lee fight, he fought for a title. Anthony Pettis was a champion. Carlos Condit was a champion. Diego fought for a title. RDA was a champion. Let's go. You know what I mean? I only want to fight guys that have been champions or have been in title fights. I want to keep that same theme going forward.
You good? Okay. 3rd fight now at welterweight. How are we feeling? You look sensational, so are you feeling as good as you looked?
Dude, I feel amazing. The crazy thing is, this was the first time I've ever had to cut less than 10 pounds for a weight cut in my entire career. You know, even the Diego fight and the Condit fight, I had to cut like 12, 13 pounds. So I only had to cut 8 pounds to make weight, and I actually weighed in tonight bigger than I ever have for any of my 3 welterweight fights. I weighed in at 188 pounds. So it just feels good, man. My body's responding well. I think it's taken a year for me to finally grow into it. You know what I mean? It's taken some time for me to really build my body into this weight class, and it's really coming full circle. I mean, RDA, he's a strong guy, man. I mean, it might have looked easy to you guys, but after getting my hands on him, that guy's legit, dude. Like, he's a very strong competitor, and you know, this is just the right weight class for me. Even if I had came up short tonight, it wouldn't have changed my mind to go back down. This is the weight class that I will end my career as, 170. This is, in my opinion, this is one of the most prestigious elite weight classes in the sport. You know what I mean? If you go back, you got Matt Hughes, George St. Pierre, Pat Miletich. You know what I mean? The lineage at welterweight is so deep. You know, next to heavyweight, I think this is the most prestigious weight class in the sport, in the UFC. So it's an honor to be here, and it's come Monday, you guys better put my name in the top 5, or I'm going to come looking for all y'all.
So I have to ask now, because you say that this is the weight class for you. What if a 165 opened up? You said you only had to cut 8. You think that might be more your speed?
I'll go 175 before I go 165. I like feeling good. You know what I mean? It's with that weight cut really messes with, at least for me, it's really messes with my confidence. You know what I mean? Before, when I was at lightweight, if I wasn't in camp, the belief was there, like, I'm going to be a world champion. I believe in my skills. I believe in myself. And I get into these camps, I get into these tough weight cuts, and all of a sudden my confidence starts getting sapped, and I start doubting myself. So it's not just about how I feel, it's about how I think. So if 165 comes around, that means 175 is coming around, and I'm going north. I'm not going south. I'm going 175.
So speaking